We're back, Seven Rivers Racing, KQEG TV, just about a month away before we start smelling the fuel and hearing the tires lay down the tread at the La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway. I know I'm very anxious to get things underway. I do want to remind you that the driver informational meeting is coming up April 3rd, 6 p.m. That's just a couple of Tuesdays from here at Fox Hollow. Check out CrosseSpeedway.com for more information there. And if you've never been, if you're a rookie, I would pretty much say you need to be there.
Right.
You're picking stalls, you're picking your numbers. Chuck Deery and Dave Nelke have all kinds of information. Jeff Garbers, a lot of the track officials will be there as well. And talking about Chuck, in his 25th season promoting racing here in western Wisconsin at the La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway, Interstate Feedway. There's all kinds of ways I've heard that Speedway put down. Chuck Deery joins us in the program. Chuck, good to see
Chuck,
you again.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on, guys.
25 years. You're still in it.
Well, it's 25 years at this operation. You know, I've been doing it all my life.
Right.
So it's like working on a family farm. So instead of milking cows, we work race cars and sell popcorn. So
well, this will be the 31st year as a part of the NASCAR Whale and All-American Series. Of course, you can see we're going to keep our sign up behind us where we celebrated 30 years last year. And before we get into the La Crosse schedule and some things we're going to do here locally-wise, as we were talking in the first segment, a couple of Oktoberfest races ago, a couple of years ago, there was an E85 car that had made its presence known at the racetrack. And as we were talking during the break there, what are the chances that we could see a different fuel or a different car in the future at La Crosse?
Well, the E85 is certainly a very viable fuel for the race cars, and it's most likely coming down the pike for us. The car that ran fast has been some research and development, and we have not allowed the E85 at La Crosse because I don't want our teams to be the research and development for this, and let those other guys discover it and stuff. And we've been in contact with the other promoters and how the cars performed and stuff. So, you know, that is just typical racing where the ingenuity of race teams, it never ceases to amaze me, whether it's E85 and taking that fuel and to make it into a performance fuel and to take it a step beyond. So that's just one step in that direction, and who knows what's next. But
right.
But E85 is definitely a fuel that obviously in the Midwest here we feel it's important to be in part of it, and we'll see how it all turns out. It may not work, it may work, but I think in the long run you'll see more alcohol-based fuels in racing.
I know each year during the off season you get together with the competition council. Rule changes, new rules being addressed are kind of discussed. Any major changes coming to the La Crosse Speedway this year?
Well, actually, this is how the competition council works. I tell them what we're going to do, and then they tell me yes, if I'm right or wrong. And it works out better that way because you need one. You can't run it as a committee because you would just be a headless animal running around. And so to answer your question, no major changes. Anything we do, we want to give the race teams at least a year and a half to know what's going on, and so that's how we approach it and stuff. Anytime you change a rule, whether it's to make something cheaper, it always costs more money. So we slowly but surely change our rules, but only in a direction that we feel we need to go. Making the cars go faster is never a priority. It just happens on its own, and we just want to make sure that that area teams can show up every week and afford to be part of our program and enjoy it, because the more money you spend, the less fun you're going to have, and you know, and we put a limit on what you can spend to keep the competition level as close as possible, and so far it's worked out for us. It's been a good formula for us.
And really the competition committee is kind of good to have because they can sound ideas off of you. But you also listen during the course of the year and at the end of the year when you talk with them, because there have been some very good rules changes that you've come up with over the last few years. Coming to mind right away is the double file restart for the late models. To me, that was a money saver. It just really made racing a whole lot better. So when you say you're a one-man decision maker, and that is true, except you do listen to people. It's not that you're going to only take your ideas. You're willing to listen and work with the teams and with everybody at the track.
Without a doubt. I mean, it's they're in the trenches. I'm not. I'm just an observer. So it's good to have some feedback, and you know, I shoot ideas off of them, and And I don't think you should ever hurry up to make a rule change or change anything. I think it needs to be well thought out, and sometimes stuff does not work out, and so you'll need to change it back. But that's the beauty of what we have, is that it's consistent, right. And when the race teams can come and know how we're going to do it, they can prepare better. Right. And I always say no surprises. Mm-hmm. Let's just go forward and know what we're going to deal with, and then when the cars get on the racetrack, that's where the surprises are. I mean, right. You cannot script the drama that you get 2 cars out there and it's exciting. Add 12 more, 20 more, right. It makes it a lot more fun.
And in talking about kicking around ideas, I know that one of your tasks in the off season, you go to promoters workshops quite a bit and have a chance to hear what other tracks are doing. Other tracks get a chance to hear what you're doing, and in the end, it all comes around to bringing the best show that you possibly can.
Without doubt. I mean, any information that you can gather to make a better decision is always beneficial. New this year, we developed a promoters workshop for Wisconsin promoters, and it's called Power and Promoters of Wisconsin Auto Racing, and that's been very, very good. Is that because although we're neighbors and we're not in competition with each other, it's just good to hear what they're doing or what their plans are. So that worked out very well for us as well. The E85 deal was a portion of that too, and sure. So we've learned a lot about it.
Chuck Deery, the promoter, general manager of the La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway, our guest in the program. Next segment, we're going to break down the schedule. Got some new and exciting things coming to the Speedway this year that I can't wait to find out. If you would like more information on the schedule that's out, the rules that are out there, and some more important dates, remember LaCrosseSpeedway.com. You can also look them up on Facebook, something Chuck and I talked about last week. He's got a goal in mind when it comes to Facebook this year. We're going to talk about that on the other side of the break here on KQEG TV 7 Rivers Racing.